I think for individuals who've been held in a hostage situation, because the nature of the situations are so different for each individual, depending on whether it's kidnapping for political reasons or for money or whatever, everybody goes through a very different experience. However, one of the things you can be sure of is that people will be scared, very frightened, very fearful. Fearful for themselves and also fearful for their families. But the families particularly feel very, very alone, very disconnected from their loved ones who they might have had only contact with, say, an hour or even minutes before this would have happened. And the level of uncertainty grows and grows, and the anxiety grows, because inevitably people will tell you nobody knows how long the situation will take and how long it will go on for. When families have news that, or they know somebody has been taken hostage, their biggest fear is what's going to happen to them, obviously. There is enough in the media, in the press, to know that sometimes these things don't go well. So that's going to be a huge fear for them. In addition to that, it's the uncertainty. It's not knowing from day to day what's happening, even though as much information can be passed through to them. But uncertainty is the huge, huge factor. And of course, that inevitably affects their sleep and their appetite, their motivation, all aspects of their daily life. Because the sort of routines that they have would automatically start to break down. And that's why it's really important that they try and continue some of that too. The person who comes back, who's been held captive, will need some specialist advice and support. And one of the things we're trying to do in Hostage UK, in Hostage US, is to try and provide a screening for people who come back, so we can help them with advice and information and guidance and what sort of things to kind of look out for which could be creating problems for them. In addition, the family members, because they've been struggling for so long, will also need some support and some help. And it's really important that they also feel that they can ask for that help. Because my view would be to say is that if we strengthen both parties, then it's more important for that ultimate post-traumatic growth, if you like, as a family and as individuals. So asking for help at a really early stage, not being frightened to ask for help, not feeling guilty to ask for help, is really important. Whoever's providing them with that support has access to a range of professionals, and they can have a discussion where small but quite a close-knit team, so that discussion about who's the best person to help this particular individual. This particular family has particularly small children. They're being affected in this way. And that's when we would go to certain people within the organisation as to who's the best person to provide some support. For people who are returning, I often try and get them to understand that they are going to see lots of things which will be similar to their experiences, which will have some small semblance to their experience in some way, things they hadn't thought of. It's often watching TV or the media or the internet, and you will see things or hear things or read things, and it will trigger a memory, and it will trigger a thought or a sound, and that becomes too much stimulus. It's a huge trigger for people, and that's why that gentle introduction into the wider world is helpful.